It's been another long day. So, update with the saga of the acquisition of the turtle. So I met with the city official today. She is a lovely person. I don't think I've had such a wonderful conversation with another human being ever. We discussed everything from her immigration to America as a 17-year-old who spoke hardly a lick of English, all the way through her journey into how she got into biology and then worked in hospitals and laboratories and then did work with the FBI and was able to create this fantastic life and then land herself in an administrative role with the city of Knoxville, basically helping people start their businesses. And that's fantastic. And then, I was talking about my background and all the stuff that I've done. But, I'm only like 30 something, I forget. I don't know how old she is. She's got kids as old as me. It was great. We had a great conversation. And she was really excited for the idea. And she gave us the information that we needed. She said that once the county had passed their inspection, they are not going to worry about the things that the county inspects. And so once we get that certification, which we got the green light for, then they're good. They're not going to be looking for the stuff that has already been inspected. She also said that she won't just kick us back just because we have a remodeled RV, as long as we meet the fire inspection and the electrical inspection, as well as have all of the 1,000 licenses and permits and whatever else. There's like this list of like 15 different fees that we have to pay. Yeah, that they won't just shut us out automatically. And I think that's really cool that we got a green light from them. Anyway, after our conversation with the lovely person, what a wonderful conversation. I wish I could have a conversation like that every day. It would really improve my mental health. I got in contact with the fire marshal, and we plan on using the propane range to heat water. I want to take the standard 8-quart pan and heat it up with the propane range. Put water in it, heat it up, and then put pork or whatever in there. Heat the pork with the steam. It is a simple solution that would be able to help us do hot holding and warming and things like that. And the guy said, no, you're going to have a fire suppression hood for that. I was like, okay, so are you saying that I need an MFE Type 3 according to Nashville state codes, or am I still an MFE Type 2? Because if I'm an MFE Type 2, I don't actually need to be producing grease-laden vapors from within the vehicle, because that's a MFE Type 3 type setup, right? And he's like, whoa, I am not familiar with all these regulations and whatnot. So then I explained to him the different levels and the HAACP control points that you have to employ to operate a level 3, which is a situation where you would be producing grease-laden vapors, and how we are not going to be that. We are going to be a type 2, where basically we just make the food off-site, put it in hot or cold holding, warm it up, serve it. Super simple, right? And after about a half-hour conversation where we exchanged all this information, he finally said, okay, well, I guess you're not going to need ventilation hood with a fire suppression system. He said, I guess you're not going to need that if all you're doing is warming up water. And I'm like, I had considered these things whenever I was planning on doing this. The issue that we bumped into with the county was getting the water tanks certified. So this is something that I didn't know. We can only use the gray tank capacity, which is 36 gallons. The black tank capacity is also 36 gallons. The freshwater capacity is 50 gallons, and that's great. That means we can boondock. That means that we can go for a while on 50 gallons. 50 gallons of water is a lot of water. But the 30-gallon gray water tank does not have an automatic overflow into the black water tank. I thought that it would. In my mind, that should be something that's just built in. Like, duh. The only thing that flows into the black water tank is literally the sewage, the toilet. That is it. That is the only thing that goes into that whole 36-gallon tank. And if we create 36 gallons of sewage, we are in a desperate state. We need to go to a hospital and get evaluated by a team of emergency technicians or something. So all of the rest of the drains on this vehicle go to the gray water tank. I assumed there was an overflow valve installed because that's reasonable. I also didn't know that the toilet was the only thing that went to the black water tank. These are things I'm learning. I'm not a seasoned RV warrior. But that being said, we had to come up with a solution to this tank problem. The tank solution, which in my mind is just the most simple, is linking the two with a backflow valve at the top. We're probably not going to produce 36 gallons of sewage. And then, yeah, it would overflow. So that is the simplest solution. And in my mind, you take a piece of brass, like a brass, you get some fittings. You cut 2 holes in the tanks because they're right next to each other. You stick it there, and you take a torch to it, melt it a little bit, then you put a whole bunch of epoxy on it, and boom, there's your bridge. $50 max. Guess how much the technician is going to charge for this? $600 to do this. I would be willing to bet that I could do this in like an hour with a drill, a torch, and some epoxy. I don't understand why I need to pay somebody $600 to do this. It is beyond me. The only thing that you need it to do is operate as a backflow valve. That's it. It is a pipe with a valve in it. That is it. $600. That's going to be what has to happen. So then that takes care of the plumbing issue. If the technician has to have $600 to entice him to install a pipe and a valve, I cannot imagine what it would take to install a ventilation hood with a fire suppression system. What, 20, 30,000, 50,000, 100,000? I don't know. I bet it would be much more than we could possibly pay. That's basically where we're at. So long story short, we got greenlit after a lot of conversation. And I have heard from multiple people that we should ask for forgiveness and not permission. However, because I maintain Tennessee state licensure for being a dietitian, I stand to get that called into question, for one. And for two, we're having to finance this RV, and it's going to be pretty noticeable. So if we get on the list of habitual offenders and they see this big turtle rolling up, they're going to be like, hey, now, we done had this conversation. I can't do that. I would rather have the permits, and I'd rather have all of the insurances and all of the certification. I'd rather slop that slop into the feed trough for all the piglets, because that's really what it is. In any case, we're going to try to close on Friday. I don't know how that all's going to go, but we've been greenlit, and it has been a journey through stress, lost sleep, my ability to negotiate with state officials, city officials, county officials, inspectors, technicians, specialists. It's endless. Hopefully, someday, Friday, we can drive off in our very own turtle. If you like these crazy updates, please subscribe, throw us a comment, like the video. That would really help us out. Thank you. A fire suppression hood. A group hood system with a fire suppression system built into it. The ventilation hood. Ventilation hood with a fire suppression system.